Well, hello there. Welcome. Good afternoon. Glad you could join us today on this beautiful, if not a little warm. I understand it's going to be 106 today. So, let's talk about reminders. This is Go for Lunch for August 30th, 2022, brought to you by GoFor Technology. My name is Roger Harmon, your host. And if you're new here, please introduce yourself in the comments so we can get to know you. And as always, our mission is to make your technology work for you. So, speaking of technology, some of us are following the Artemis 1 launch, which didn't launch yesterday because of some technical difficulties. So now it's scheduled to launch on Friday, September the 2nd. And this is a preliminary test for getting us back on the moon in 2026. So one of several launches that will be building up to another moon landing. Reminders. So reminders comes with every Apple operating system. So it syncs across your Mac, your iPhone, your iPad, and even your Apple Watch. And to do that, of course, you have to be signed in to iCloud with the same Apple ID on all of those devices. So how do you add a new reminder? Well, you open the Reminders app. We're going to be talking primarily about on the Mac to begin with, but we'll demonstrate on the iPhone at the end. So stay tuned for that. So you click a plus sign in the upper right-hand corner. You can also use the keyboard shortcut, which is Command N, N for new. And it looks something like this. Up here in the upper right-hand corner of the window is a little tiny plus sign, and you click on that to get a new reminder. So then you would type a title. You can also add a note on the second line. So let's look and see what that looks like. So let's go to reminders. So here we are. And so in order to start a new reminder, we're going to go up here to the upper right hand corner to this plus, and then the new reminder will appear at the bottom of the screen. So you type in your title. So we're going to call this bags. Okay. Now if I hit return, then it'll let me add another reminder. Now I have this sorted, so bags is up here at the top now in alphabetical order because I sorted it earlier, so I'll show you how to sort in a minute. So if we wanted to add a note to that, we click on the little I here on the right hand side. We click on notes, and we would type in reusable to remind us what kind of bags that we're talking about here. Okay, so you can also add a date and a time. So let's look at that. So here we are. We clicked on the little I here, and we can click on the checkbox here on a day and type in a day. It'll by default, it'll give you today's date. We can click on the checkbox for a time, so it'll default to a time, 1 o'clock, and that's how you do that. So again, you click the I button on the right to edit the details. So to review here's the I button. You click on the check mark or check box in front of on a day, and we'll look at location here in a second. So you can also check on a location, and then you can also let the reminder come on when you're arriving at that destination, or when you're leaving that destination. So let's look at that. So here we have a location, and then you can click here. It's kind of hard to read here in the gray. So it says enter a location. So when you click on this, theoretically you can type in a location and it'll search. And this did work as I was preparing this presentation, but it doesn't seem to be working now. So I was going to type in Sprouts, S-P-R-O, and it gave me several Sprouts locations around town, but now it's giving me Sprocket Communications. So we'll pretend like that's where we're going. So we click on Sprocket Communications, and it defaults to arriving there. So another feature here, this circle, the blue circle, is called a geofence, and that indicates how close to that location it will remind you. So the closest you can get it is 379 feet. I'm sorry, 328 feet. I thought it was already in. 328 feet, but you can make it bigger. So you can just drag this blue dot out and you can see it makes it bigger. Or not. So again, this worked. Let's try a different way here. Okay, so it is making it bigger. You can see it says 3132. So 3,132 feet. Okay? You can also repeat. And I'm hearing a high-pitched noise. They're seal coating the street out in front of my location here. So I'm hoping that's coming from the street and not getting into the broadcast. So you can repeat this, so you can repeat it every day, every week, every month, every year, or you can do a custom date. So that is how you set a location. You can also set a priority, and in newer versions of the operating system you can add a tag, but I'm not on a new enough version to show you that. So let's go back to reminders, and down here at the very bottom is the priority. So a low priority is 1 exclamation point in front of the title, medium is 2 exclamation points, and a high is 3 exclamation points. So if we look at our list over here, scroll down, you'll see here's one task with 1 exclamation point, and here's one with 2 exclamation points. So that's where they appear, right in front of the title. So what happens when you complete a task? Well, you click on the circle to the left. So let's say we completed the bag task. So here's the circle right here. We click on that, and in a second it will disappear. So it went away. So we only see uncompleted task. You notice up here it shows that I have 234 completed tasks, and if I click on the show button here, it would show me all of those. So you can create multiple lists. The way you do that is you click in the lower left. So here's the window. In the lower left you have a circle with a plus in it, and next to it it says add list. So let's look at that. So here's add list in the lower left hand corner, and now we have a new list. You can see here it's highlighted already, so all you have to do is start typing. So we're going to call this pre-production. And then I just hit return, and there it is. Now to add a task here to this list, we just click anywhere in the white here, and there is our blank task, and we'll type in a title, check internet speed, and as you can see, you can add the date and the location right here. If I want to add another one, I just hit return, type in another title, so we'll call this Restart Mac. So that is how you add another list. So as we demonstrated, you hit return to add a new item. You can also drag items to rearrange the order. So here we are. Let's go back to our reminders where we have some more items. So let's take this item right here. You place the cursor outside of the circle and outside of the title, and then you see the blue horizontal line. Wherever that line goes, that's where that task will be repositioned. You can also go to the menu bar and click on Sort, and you can also cut and paste a reminder from one list to another. Okay, so we're going to go to the menu bar, click on View. You see the pop-down menu. So now we can sort by due date, creation date, priority, or title. So you can see we've got the high-tech ladder feet there in the third position. If we click on title, then it moved it down into alphabetical order. So let's say for some reason we got a task in the wrong list. So here's our shopping list, and you can see here the second item is change the battery in the key fob. Well, that's not part of the shopping list. So we're going to right click on that. We're going to cut it. It disappears from the shopping list. We're going to click here on the left in the reminders list and right click and paste. And if we go down here, we should see it. There it is. The second item, change the battery in the key fob. So that's how you can sometimes, when you're using Siri, it will put it in the wrong list. So that's how you can correct that. So you have different views: a today view, a scheduled view, and a view of all items in all lists. So those are right here on the left. Here's our today view. Those have all got dates, so that we have 14 today views and 14 scheduled views. And then if we click on all, it breaks it down by list, and you can scroll down here and see everything in one list. So there's also a search function built in. So when you search, it'll search across all of your lists. So here's the search here in the upper left-hand corner. And let's just say we want to search for salads. S-A-L-A-D, salad. So you can see here we have a reminder. So the completed reminders show up in the search. So when the circle is filled in with a dot, then that's a completed item. So you can see here we have one called Take Out Salad when arriving for work. So it doesn't stay in the hot car. And then here's 2 salads on our shopping list, and also another completed task to buy salad ingredients. So Siri will add items to a list, and you can also share a list with someone. So let's go to our iPhone. So, hey Siri, add carrots to grocery list.
I didn't find a grocery list. Do you want to create one?
No, cancel.
Okay.
Hey Siri, add carrots to shopping list.
Okay, add it to reminders.
So you can see there, hey Siri, add carrots to shopping.
Okay, add it to reminders.
Okay, so Siri, cancel. So you can see here that Siri didn't play nicely with us. That's why I had to move things. So your mileage may vary. So let's go back to reminders and show you how you share a list. Okay, so this is kind of so let's go to reminders, and this is kind of hidden. You see when you put your cursor on a list, a little person icon shows up. So you click on that, and then you can share your list with people in your contacts. So let's share this with Alexis. And you would click on Alexis's most appropriate email. The pending means that she has to accept this. And so we're going to stop sharing so we don't bother Alexis. And we would click done if we wanted to make that sharing work. So that's how you share a list. So many of these features work with the upgraded reminders, which require macOS 10.15, Catalina, iOS 13, iPad OS 13, or later. And again, you have to be signed in to iCloud with the same Apple ID to get all this to sync across. So this will also work on the iPhone. So let's go to the iPhone, and here we have reminders on our home screen. Tap on reminders, and so you see the setup is pretty much the same. You have your different lists for today, scheduled, and all. Here's all of our lists. Now here's the upgrade, which I obviously haven't done, so I will not do that right now in the middle of a presentation. But if you meet those requirements of Catalina and iOS 13, then you should upgrade to make everything work correctly. So you can see at the bottom left is where we hit for a new reminder. The bottom right is where we add a list. So it's somewhat similar to the Mac application. And of course on the iPad it would work the same. So it works on iPad, iPhone, and it also works on the Apple Watch. So if we go to our Inspectocam here and hit the digital crown, you can see reminders is right there in the middle. We click on that. You can see there's the today, the scheduled, the all, and then there's the different lists. So you can also use Siri on your Apple Watch to add a reminder. So, if you haven't already, please type your questions in to the comments field. And remember to share the GoFor Gazette, which comes out every Monday morning about 7 a.m. with other people you know that are Apple users. And if you haven't already, please subscribe down below here. We need 6 more subscribers to reach 100, and that is a magic number as far as YouTube is concerned. It gives us some perks, so we want to reach that 100. Okay, so I see we have Bob is here, and he's explaining that he needed to bring cookies because he was late. And Susan, how do you find something that went into the wrong list if you don't know that it went into the wrong list? So the answer to that would be you would use the search function. So I think we talked about search, and how do you find search is in the upper left hand corner of the window in the app. So I'm looking at the iPhone here, and so on the iPhone I'm not seeing search actually. So you would just search as you normally do on the iPhone, where you swipe down from the center of your screen between the icons of the apps, and it would search reminders. So Susan comments, I see that you had tasks that sounded like they were for one day some years ago, and they're still there. I guess you didn't get rid of them, right? So that's exactly right. So it's not clear to me where the reminders or the list show up. So it's in the app. So you would just, you could use Spotlight, Command Spacebar to bring up the Reminders app on your Mac, or you could search on your iPhone or iPad to bring up the Reminders app there. And you're not sure that you're signed into iCloud means, do I sign in and stay signed in forever? Yes. So if your mail and your messages are syncing between all your devices, you are signed in. So once you're signed in, you stay signed in. And Susan, like many of my clients, have never used reminders, and they put everything into the calendar. So that's certainly a way to do it. If it's something that is not date related, just something you need to do, you can put in a reminder without a date, and it is there as it's a to-do list basically. So depending on how you can put things in your calendar when they are date and time specific, or you can put things that are not date and time specific in reminders, but you can also add a date and or a time to reminders. So just gives you several different ways to remind you when you need to get tasks done. So Susan says, oh, you have to bring reminders up all the time. Well, no. So when you set a date and a time, that reminder will pop up automatically at that date and time. So if you don't set a time, they'll pop up at 9 a.m. on the date that you set. So they will pop up automatically if you give it a date or a time. If you don't, then you would have to go in the reminders and look for them. So those are good questions, Susan. I hope that explained it for you and the others that are watching. So if there are no more questions, thank you all for attending. And if you think of any questions after the fact, you can email me or call me, and that information is coming up on the screen near you right now. Have a great rest of your day.